Hi guys, I know things are insane right now, but take a deep breath and get ready to enjoy another episode of Don't Panic. I'm your hostess, Sapphire Quarter, and today we've got 4 things to talk about. The tragic case of a young girl whose death may be a bad sign for all of us. Also, the Secret Service gives up on trying to find who snuck cocaine into one of the most secure buildings in the entire world after just 11 days. Biden is doing all he can to pay off student debt. And our last story is objectively not newsworthy, but it comes with a really cute picture that I wanted to share with you guys. So, the West Wing of the White House. It's one of the most secure places in the entire world. I've never been, but according to people who have, there's cameras everywhere. They keep extensive track of who goes in and out. You have to go through security screening to get in by the Secret Service, which is kind of like going through the TSA, only all of the TSA officers look like supervillain henchmen. In short, one of the last places you would want to take Coke, because everyone knows that Pepsi is the official sponsor of the White House. You probably know this already, but on July 2nd, a small baggie with less than a gram of cocaine in it was found inside a part of White House where a ton of people were coming and going. On July 13th, less than 2 weeks after the baggie was found, the Secret Service threw up their hands and completely gave up. They closed the investigation. They had no suspects, no leads, and honestly, as an American, I'm a little embarrassed. The fact that someone could commit a crime in the White House and then the Secret Service just like, I don't know, guys. I mean, there was like 500 people there that day. We went through the security footage. It's impossible to figure out who did this. Now, I know nothing about investigating crimes besides what I learned from watching Sherlock.
Numbers come with partners.
God, I need to sleep.
Why did he paint it so near the tracks?
Maybe they did exhaust every possible alternative. I know that they checked the baggie for physical evidence and they couldn't find anything. But I almost wish they had kept the investigation open for a little longer, even if they weren't doing anything. I just think it would have made me feel a little better. I mean, the other possibility is that whoever did this was rich enough or powerful enough that they could kind of finagle their way out of it, but I have no idea about any of that. I haven't heard anything about them increasing security or anything like that, probably because this place is already so secure. The only place that they could possibly put more cameras was in the bathroom. I do hope they change something, or at least make a show of changing something. That way people don't think that they can take, crack into the White House and they won't get caught. Moving on, student loans. Woo! According to nerdwallet.com, only the best sources for you guys, 1 in 5 American adults has student debt, and about 90% of that is owned by the United States government. President Biden really wants to get rid of student debt, and he made a plan to cancel upwards of $20,000 of student debt from about 40 million borrowers. I'm not surprised by this, but the Supreme Court vetoed it. So Biden has been looking for ways to get around that ever since, and his most recent attempt came on July 14th. The Biden administration announced that they'd be getting rid of $39 million for 800,000 people. And I know what you're thinking, Sapphire, that's great. Why isn't that the good news for today? I hate my student loans. Here's the thing. Do you know why Biden is forgiving these student loans? Because the government screwed up so colossally that he's not forgiving people's loans for the sake of getting rid of student loans. He's forgiving them for the sake of fixing the government screw up. Basically, student loans are only supposed to be for a certain length of time, but somehow some loans were miscalculated and you had borrowers paying for their student loans beyond when the agreed allotment of time would be. So, for example, if the allotment of time is 20 years, you have people paying for 21 years. Also, the entire student loan system is completely messed up. I don't have time to get into this right now, but as far as I can tell, the majority of Democrats and Republicans agree that it's messed up. Now, I understand that this is a complicated issue and maybe this is all Biden can do to fix it, but it just feels more like a band-aid on the symptom of the problem instead of getting to the root of the problem itself. And I'm guessing I'm missing something about this, but I don't understand why the government couldn't do math that I learned in 7th grade. It's shocking and worrisome. Also, $39 billion is a ton of money, and I don't know what happens when America gets too far in debt, but nothing good, right? Speaking of not good things, this next story is a tragedy that is so horrific, most of us probably can't even fathom it. 39%. A number that knows no nuance. It's a cold, hard fact. A number that an AI system in Japan came up with that recently had a part to play in a horrific crime. A mother killed her own daughter. Unimaginable to be killed by the person who should work the hardest in the world to protect you. The person who was literally at one time your entire world. But this time, it wasn't just the mother that failed the daughter. It was an entire system put in place to protect her. My heart goes out to this poor 4-year-old girl whose mother met with Child Consultation Center officials in February of 2022 to discuss bruises that had been found on the daughter's body. The Japanese government was trying to determine whether or not the daughter should stay with the mother or be placed into protective custody. Part of this evaluation was an artificial intelligence system which calculated the need for the child to be placed in protective custody. In this case, that was determined to be 39%. In other words, the AI program decided it would be better for the daughter to stay with her mother. Now, to be fair, they didn't think that the bruises were caused by the mother. The mother was being compliant, and the officials from the center were going to be routinely checking on the child. The decision wasn't made entirely by the AI system. It was just part of the decision process. Obviously, there's a lot of questions. Would the decision have been different if the AI evaluation had not been taken into consideration? Were there other times where the AI helped sway a decision that ended up greatly benefiting the child? Was the AI better than a human being would be at determining the best things to do with these children? I mean, this system was put in place to not put too much stress on the individuals at these child evaluation centers. Did it do more harm than good? In defense of the Japanese government, it said that it would use a third party to evaluate whether or not AI systems should be used to handle child abuse cases, and I think that's fantastic. Going forward, I know that AI is going to be influencing our lives more and more, and I think it's important to keep in mind that it is going to make the wrong calls. Sometimes the Biden administration is interested in involving AI more in education. There will be people who are underserved because of that decision. If AI is involved in the hiring process, there will be people who perhaps will not be hired who deserved a job. I hope that going forward, everyone keeps that in mind, and we continue to babysit AI. Obviously, these kinds of systems can be helpful, and it's not like AI is putting children in horrible situations all of the time. This is just one case. Finally, we're going to end with this picture. It's so cute! It makes me want to replace my bed with a big pile of golden retrievers. What you're looking at is a UK record for the most golden retrievers in one spot. These golden retrievers come from around the globe, and they're gathered on the 155th anniversary of the creation of the breed. They're at the ruins of the... I'm not going to try that one. Anyways, the breed was first created there 155 years ago by a man named Tweedmouth. What am I supposed to say about that? That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. All of these golden retriever owners gathered. I guess I assume they were the owners. They could have just stolen them or borrowed them for their friends or something like that. But they all gathered. There were some talks. There was activities. There was a nighttime parade. And of course, there was hundreds of adorable dogs. That's all the news I have for you today, guys. We'll talk about all the new craziness that comes out next time. I love you all. Goodbye.